We're also bringing you in full Liverpool versus Aston Villa at 2 o'clock. Ian Dennis is already there. Where do we find you, Ian?
Good afternoon, Steve. I'm in the tunnel. Or is it still good morning?
I think it's still good morning. I'm not used to it either. It's very confusing.
Yeah. But I'm in the tunnel. Yeah, it is good morning. I'm in the tunnel at Anfield.
Yeah, and you're going to see Mo Salah in that tunnel. However, Liverpool fans, Liverpool manager probably have got at least two eyes on the Saudi Arabia transfer window.
Yeah, and with that, there's a little bit of confusion, because if you go onto the FIFA website stipulates that the Saudi window doesn't close until the 20th of September. But I think it's the Saudi Pro League on their website that is saying it's the 7th.
Yeah.
So regardless whether it's the 7th or the 20th, and I've tried contacting the Saudi Federation to find out what is the definitive date, but regardless, there is still going to be a sense of unease until one of those dates passes regarding Mo Salah. Now, obviously, Liverpool's stance is quite firm that they don't want to lose Mo Salah, but the Saudis, will they come back with another bid after that one on Friday was rejected? It's going to be a very, very nervous and anxious time for everybody connected with Liverpool, because you do not want to be losing somebody of Mo Salah's record when you're unable to bring in a replacement for him.
That tunnel that you're in, as everybody will know, is one of the great tunnels in world football. But you get the feeling that the Aston Villa, this Aston Villa that people are quite excited about, aren't likely to be overawed.
I wouldn't have thought so, no. Obviously, they came unstuck at Newcastle on the opening day, losing 5-1. But since then, they're on a good winning run. They've progressed into the group stages of European competition. I think they've recruited well. Diaby's settled in. Bailey's finding the goals. But they don't have a particularly good record against Liverpool. And Unai Emery, of course, doesn't have a good record against Jurgen Klopp as well. You might recall he was manager of Villarreal when they met in a Champions League semi-final just a few years ago. And Liverpool's home form. Liverpool they've carried on where they left off. They had momentum at the end of last season. They weren't in the top four throughout the whole of last year's campaign, but they finished with real momentum, and that has continued at the start of this season.
The team news is in at Anfield ahead of Liverpool versus Aston Villa, in full from 2 o'clock. Ian Dennis.
Liverpool make 3 changes, Steve, from that Newcastle victory. Of course, Van Dijk is suspended. He's replaced in defence by Gomez. Nunez, who got those dramatic 2 goals, replaces Gakpo. That's his first start of the season. And the third change is Jones for Endo in the midfield. As for Aston Villa, from the side that played Burnley, just the one alteration, it's in goal. Emi Martinez replaces Olsen after coming back from a calf injury that has seen him miss the last 2 games.
Thanks, Ian. Ian will be with Leon Osman for commentary from 2. Remember, at 4:30, in full from the Emirates here on Premier League Sunday, Arsenal versus Manchester United. But now, all eyes on Anfield. It's Liverpool against Aston Villa, and Leon Osman is with Ian Dennis.
Thanks, Steve. The strains of You'll Never Walk Alone here at Anfield on a very, very warm day on Merseyside. The sun is shining. We've almost got a clear blue sky above the ground, and we're about to get underway, as this is the second of our 3 live commentaries after that Old Firm contest has just finished at Ibrox. I'll run through the 2 teams for you, as our referee is Simon Hooper. Liverpool are in all red. They're defending the Kop in the first half, so they'll be playing from right to left as we look against an Aston Villa side that, in their white shirts and sky blue shorts, are defending the redeveloped Anfield Road end away towards our left-hand side. Alisson is in goal. Back 4 of Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Matip and Robertson, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Jones, Salah, Nunez and Diaz. Means 3 changes from the side that grabbed that dramatic win at Newcastle. Gomez for the suspended Van Dijk, Nunez for Gakpo, and Jones comes in for Endo as we are underway. And Aston Villa have made 1 change from the side that beat Burnley last Sunday, and that is Martinez back in goal. That was a rather heavy touch at the back from Cash. So Martinez for Olsen in goal. So they have Martinez, a back 3 of Konsa, Carlos and Pau Torres, Cash and Digne, although they are quite flexible. So you look at it now and it looks like it's a back 4 with Konsa at right back, but they will be quite fluid. Camara, Douglas Luiz, McGinn, Diaby and Ollie Watkins. And that's the way that they like to play, Leon Osman.
Yes, it is. I mean, as you mentioned, the flexibility. I think defensively at times you'll see them as a back 4, and Matty Cash will be able to push into midfield to help keep the numbers right with regards to Liverpool's midfield, and also keep an eye on the marauding runs down the left flank for Robertson of Liverpool. Yeah, at times when they need him to be, he could quite easily become part of that back 5.
Certainly it's an attractive game for an Aston Villa side that has recovered ever so well after that hammering on the opening day at Newcastle. Here is Luis Diaz, quickly closed down by Cash. Actually, Diaz gives the ball away to Diaby, who runs forward, but it's recovered well by McAllister, and then to Szoboszlai. So Gravenberch is signed from Bayern Munich, the former Ajax player, as Luis Diaz is forward. Flag stays down, now it's raised. Over on that far side, free kick then to Aston Villa, not on the bench, but they do have Endo, Gakpo, Elliott, Jota, Tsimikas, Bajcetic, Doak and Kwanzaa, and then Clement Lenglet, who was signed from Barcelona on loan. He's on the bench for Aston Villa, along with Zaniolo, Duran, Bailey, Dendoncker, Kellerman, Chambers and Tielemans. But they've recruited well, I think, really, Aston Villa, haven't they, so far in this last transfer window?
Yeah, I think they have. I mean, they've identified positions that they wanted to strengthen. They brought in Pau Torres. Carlos got injured early last season.
Oh, caught a mistake at the back there. That was by Pau Torres. He made a challenge, actually. It was on Nunez. The referee, Simon Hooper, it's gone behind for a corner kick. That was a lucky escape for the player we've just been talking about.
It was, as you mentioned, Pau Torres, who just took possession deep in his own penalty area and tried to come inside the pressure of Mo Salah and didn't do it quick enough, and then tried his best to recover, did actually recover, but slid into Darwin Núñez's feet.
Corner comes in now, it's an outswinger, falls to Szoboszlai! Szoboszlai opens his account in the red shirt of Liverpool inside 3 minutes. Half volley, left footed, always on the rise, and Liverpool are off to a flying start, 1-0. Dominic Szoboszlai.
Yeah, brilliant finish. He just hung around the edge of the penalty area, didn't get involved in the middle with the mix, with the big guys going for the ball. He was just ringing the edge of that penalty area, and the delivery in was pretty decent from that right hand side. It was an outswinger from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it just went through the entire pack, and he picked up the flight of the ball really early, allowed the ball to come on to him rather than going to meet the ball. Lovely half volley, great technique with that left foot, hit it into the floor. It did take a slight deflection on its way in, I think, to confound the misery from Pau Torres himself, but just snuck it inside that far post. It was a brilliant finish, great start from Liverpool, really sloppy start from Aston Villa.
Struck it so sweetly though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. As I said, he allowed the ball to come onto him. He didn't go and rush to try and meet it, hit it into the floor. It shot up off the shins of an Aston Villa defender and into the goal, but it was a beautiful strike on that left foot of Szoboszlai.
There was a brief VAR check, but the game is underway and Liverpool lead by a 1-0. He was outstanding here the other week against Bournemouth, but he's such a talent, the Hungarian international. He scored 6 goals for Leipzig last season. He also contributed 8 assists, and he's up and running to open his Liverpool account on just his 4th appearance. And all of a sudden, Unai Emery must be thinking, blimey, it's happening again, because he doesn't have the best of records against Jurgen Klopp. His only victory against the German was actually for Sevilla in the Europa League final 7 years ago.
Well, he'll be furious with his team. I mean, they've started so slow and so sloppy. As you mentioned, Diaz gave the ball away very early in the game to Diaby, who had an opportunity to run at the back 2 centre-halves of Liverpool, and he just ambled in possession, as Aston Villa have as a team so far. McAllister took the ball off him easy. Then Pau Torres gets caught in possession inside his own penalty area. They give a corner kick away, and they don't defend that properly, so they got themselves to blame for a really poor start.
And that goal from Szoboszlai will also maintain the record, and there are certain statistics that do catch your eye, and this was certainly one of them, that Unai Emery has never been involved in a goalless draw now in 80 Premier League games as a manager. And I was checking back, indeed his only goalless draw was for Arsenal in a Europa League tie against Sporting. It's not maybe it says something about his approach, to be fair, because last season when he did come on board at Villa Park, he did very well. They collected 49 points under him last season.
Yeah, you'd think it sounds good, it sounds entertaining, but he wants a strong back 4, and you can't always guarantee that at the top end of the field your strikers and your attacking midfielders are going to be able to unlock the door, but you hope that your defensive structure will keep clean sheets. But they're just at both ends of the field not necessarily reliable, and now they're behind early in this game and they've got to go in search of the equaliser.
Well, they haven't settled again, because that was a camera back pass to Martinez that put him under pressure. He put it out of play for a throw. Liverpool lead by a goal to nil already. 6 minutes played. Diaz near side the left, pitches the ball back to Curtis Jones, part of Lee Carsley's successful side at the Euros in the summer. Indeed, it was Curtis Jones who got the only goal against Spain in the final. Had the pleasure of speaking to him before they went out to Georgia and Romania in the summer. Very unassuming young man, actually, who's not been blessed with good fortune when it comes to injuries. He had that freak eye injury, I recall, as well as Salah. Certainly felt the love ahead of the game. Plays the ball forward. Now it's with Szoboszlai. Sends over the cross just over the head of Diaz. Getting a lot of room over on that far side the right, weren't they? Nobody picked up the run of Szoboszlai. 1-0 Liverpool.
As poor as Aston Villa have started to this game, the opposite can be said for Liverpool. They're sharp, their interchange of positions has been brilliant, their passing tempo has been very good. Just on that occasion, Szoboszlai just drifted half a yard offside. Trent Alexander-Arnold picked him out brilliantly, but Liverpool look like they're really up for this. They're fluid, they're trying to create attacks and attacking movements time after time. And Aston Villa just look like they're there to be beaten. They haven't really got out of first gear. I've been here many times to Anfield, and you know you're going to have to work hard. Maybe it becomes more difficult when the temperature is what it is, but they need to get started soon, Aston Villa.
It was a good commanding header whilst Leon was talking from Joe Gomez replacing the suspended Van Dijk. It might be more than the one game after that sending off at Newcastle last week for his words to the referee. He's been charged with improper conduct by the FA, so Gomez, but it was a good strong header forward. Martinez all in green away towards our left waits. Watkins drifts out towards that far side the left, plays the ball inside. Douglas Luiz hooks it forward, but Liverpool have got Alexander-Arnold back there and now finds Gomez just outside the D of his own penalty area, and he runs forward in the all red of Liverpool. Plays it to Robertson midway through his own half, in front of the main stand. Jurgen Klopp with his black baseball cap, pointing with his left hand, wanting the ball played early. Robertson, though, just stands on the ball and plays it back inside to Gomez, and they work it across the back. Let's nip to the other 2 o'clock kickoff. It's at Selhurst Park. Sahel Sahi.
8 minutes played. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0. Wolves have started the better on the front foot. Neto with a cross from the left hand side. Guéhi, he sliced it over the top for a corner. It came off his shin. The corner was cleared. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
Delayed start to the Italian Grand Prix. That is available online on the BBC Sport website and the app for when it does eventually get underway. Here we are at Anfield, BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and Szoboszlai's early goal gives Liverpool a 1-0 lead, and Liverpool have certainly been the better of the two teams in these opening 9 minutes, as McAllister plays the ball forward and Salah is after it. Salah now up against Digne, the former Everton man, dives into the challenge, wins it, and then he's barged over by Mo Salah. Jurgen Klopp ahead of the game, saying that Mo Salah completely normal after that bid was rejected on Friday in a deal that could have been worth up to £150 million. But the message is quite clear, certainly from Liverpool. Mo Salah is going nowhere, and indeed it is his name that now reverberates around Anfield. The Liverpool supporters certainly showing him what they think about him. Remember, the 5th all-time top goal scorer for this famous club. As Camera holds off Jones. Ball played by Diego Carlos. Konsa goes back. Martinez under pressure from Nunez, works it across well out towards that far side. Digne's ball to McGinn, lays it off now to Douglas Luiz, beating the press effectively. Aston Villa at the moment, but they're still inside their own half. Just over 10 minutes played. Diaby makes the run on the back of Gomez into the penalty area, crosses towards Watkins, and it's then a sliding challenge by Szoboszlai, out of play for a throw. Looked threatening for a time.
He did. It was really good defending. Szoboszlai made sure he got back, tracked that run all the way. For the first time we've seen anything really from Aston Villa, and they took a gamble deep inside their own half, played it across, and eventually it worked out really well. Douglas Luiz picking out Diaby inside that penalty area, and as he flashed it across, Watkins couldn't quite get there, and neither could Lucas Digne.
Diego Carlos just outside the centre circle in the Liverpool half. Cash on this near side to right, a few yards in from the touchline. brilliant sunshine here at Anfield. Concert back with Diego Carlos. Pau Torres is to his left. He goes with a diagonal ball. Dini's quite high up on that far side. Dini hooks over the cross, headed on by McGinn, and it was good covering by Robertson. The left back tucked in inside the penalty area. Villa have won it back though. Left corner of the area. McGinn with the cross. Cash is forward, and Robertson again very, very vigilant defending, aware of the danger, heads it out of play for a throw. Twice he did well, Robertson.
Yeah, brilliant header at the back stick there, because Cash can certainly leap and rise and head the ball in that position. Looked like he was going to be favourite, Matty Cash, but Robertson defending it well. But that's where you see the benefit of the system Aston Villa are playing. Back four when they're defending, but as soon as they're in possession, Luca Digne is high and wide on the left, Matty Cash is high and wide on the right. They really do stretch the play, get numbers inside that penalty area, and it nearly paid off there.
It's Cash with a throw in front of the Kop on this near side, the right, partially cleared, helped further away by Jones, and now maybe there could have been a counter-attack, but McAllister's tried to hit it early, and he's tried to play it out to this near side, the left, because he had two runners over the halfway line in Diaz and Nunez, but he just pulled it a little bit and it went straight out of play for a throw.
He had so much space to hit that ball into. Yes, I mean, Martinez was coming out of his penalty area, but the two players you'd want chasing a ball over the top would be Nunez or Diaz. Both of them were in a great position if he'd have just left that ball in a position for them to get after it. But unfortunately for him and for Liverpool, can only find the touchline.
Here is Watkins on the halfway line. Watkins in the end just crowded out by the red shirts, but Luis Diaz has inadvertently passed the ball to Diaby. Watkins now has it, closed down by Robertson and easily dispossessed. Luis Diaz hits it early. Nunez is after it. Will he keep the ball in play? No, he won't. He did everything to try and do so, but in the end one extra bounce took it over the touchline, despite the best efforts of the Uruguayan, making his first start of the season.
Yeah, again though, Liverpool trying to be so precise with that pass. They don't need to be. Nunez is so quick. You can already see, I think it was Carlos who was in pursuit, was nervous, was worried, knew he couldn't keep up with the Uruguayan. He was pleased to see it just drift out of play.
Cash, diagonal ball. Watkins is forward, takes it on the chest well, touches it back towards McGinn, shows too much though to Alexander-Arnold. That was a loose ball back towards Alisson, and Watkins almost with the interception in their penalty box, but Alisson was quickly out and made the decisive touch away from danger. McAllister now for Liverpool, just at the edge of the centre circle, closed down by Douglas Luiz, and it ricochets all the way through to Alisson.
Well, they've stepped the game up, Aston Villa, there's no doubt about that. They're starting to get closer to Liverpool in midfield, starting to pressurise the ball, make contact. Nearly pressurised Alexander-Arnold into giving possession away inside, on the edge of his own penalty area there, but thankfully for Liverpool's point of view, Alisson was alive to it.
Alexander-Arnold, oh what a delightful ball that was. Crossfield towards Luis Diaz, edge of the area, in towards Salah. Salah looking to try and get it back. He might go it alone actually, but in the end he couldn't find his way through Diego Carlos and Concert. Header forward from Matip. Diaz takes it on the chest. Liverpool have the ball back midway through the Villa half, leading by 1-0 the home side. Sorry, were you just about to take a swig of water? I didn't do that deliberately.
I was, Ian, thank you for that.
I thought, with my peripheral vision, I actually just saw that. I thought it was your microphone that you were lifting. I didn't realise that it was a bottle of water on such a hot day. I wouldn't throw you under the bus like that. You know that, don't you?
Well, I feel like you have done. Well, we'll move on.
Yeah. Did you manage to take it?
I didn't know.
No, okay.
I'll do it in a moment.
All right, I'll keep talking if you want to have a little swig now. Here is Gomez. The mischievous element of it, I wanted to wait for you to drink and then throw you another question, but I decided against it. Liverpool lead 1-0. Sorry, I'm such a child. 15 minutes played, 5 live. Here is Alexander-Arnold to Salah on that far side. By the way, I checked, I was speaking to Steve Crossman earlier about the Saudi window, and I said that there was a little bit of confusion. There's another ball from Alexander-Arnold to Diaz. He does like those diagonal balls. Diaz inside the penalty area, looks for the shooting opportunity, blocked by Concert, because the FIFA website does say the 20th of September, but I was had it clarified that it's the Saudi Pro League, it's the 7th of September. Although it's irrelevant really from a Liverpool Football Club point of view, because they are insistent that he's not going anywhere. Anyway, Liverpool have got a corner kick twice there with Alexander-Arnold spraying those balls out.
It's such an option for them. Beautiful technique from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Diaz hooks the wing and he gets one-on-one with Konsa. It's a definite avenue of attack.
Robertson, outswinging corner, headed away by Watkins, off the thigh of McAllister, lays it back out to the left. Robertson with a cross, it's a hanging ball which is caught by Martinez. Let's go back to Selhurst Park, Sahel Sahi.
15 minutes played in, still Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0. Crystal Palace thought they had a penalty. Eze was fouled inside the box. VAR ruled that out, and then Jose Sla with the forward ball from the restart. The Wolves defence was caught napping. Ayew found Edouard, and his effort was blasted over the top from about 8 yards away. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
Diego Carlos has gone down after that ball was caught by Martinez. There will be natural concern. There wasn't a challenge really towards him. Diego Carlos, who you might recall in his second appearance for the club last season, had that bad Achilles injury against Everton. Now he's gone down against Liverpool. Meanwhile, incidentally, the Italian Grand Prix, I'm told, will now start at 3:20, and that will of course be available online on the BBC Sport website. But Diego Carlos at the moment, he's got that rather resigned look as he's just sat down with the physios tending to him.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, because there didn't seem to be anyone in his vicinity, it does make you wonder how bad the injury is and if he'll be able to continue. They do have defenders on the substitutes bench, though. They have Clement Longley, they do have Callum Chambers that could just come in and take that position Diego Carlos is operating in. They won't want to lose him.
No, they certainly haven't been blessed with good fortune on the injury front already this season, and it looks like they're not going to take a chance, and it's going to be Clement Longley who's going to be coming on for Aston Villa. He was signed on loan from Aston Villa. Of course, he was on loan at Tottenham last season. He made 35 appearances and the 1 goal, so the French international is going to be coming on. And in fact, it might well be. Oh no, they're going to change it now. Leon Bailey's going to be coming on. So I just wonder if they've had a change of heart here. Longley was definitely stripped for action. Longley now is putting back on the yellow bib, and it will be Leon Bailey. So what will happen here is that Cash will go in at right back, Konsa will move across, and Leon Bailey then will play on the wide right.
Yeah, it's an easy solve for Aston Villa. Matty Cash is, a natural right back. He had been playing more of a right midfielder, certainly when they were defending. But I just felt that Aston Villa was starting to get a grip of this game. They were starting to show how their system was going to affect Liverpool. They'd started to push Liverpool backwards, but managers decided to change it to that natural system with Cash right back, and Bailey will now play off this right side of midfield.
So Longley for the time being has just got his yellow bib. He waits. He might just have to wait for his Villa debut, but the change has been made, and Diego Carlos is off, and Liam Bailey, who's scored 3 in 3 successive games, is on. And now it's with Konsa partnering Pau Torres and Cash switching at a right back. 19 minutes played. BBC Radio 5 Live. We brought you earlier Rangers 0, Celtic 1 at Ibrox. We've still got Arsenal Manchester United to come at 4:30, and of course on Friday the Rugby Union World Cup starts. All 48 games live on 5 Live Sports Extra, BBC Sounds or the BBC app, and we open up with France against New Zealand from 7 o'clock, and then the following night, Saturday in Marseille, England against Argentina. But all 48 games live through BBC Radio and its various sources. 20 minutes played. Liverpool still lead by a 1-0 on a very, very hot afternoon at Anfield. Gomez goes back, Diaby puts him under pressure towards Alisson. Little touch by the keeper for Liverpool, and then hits it long, headed away over on that far side by Digne. Now it's with McAllister though for Liverpool. Ripple of applause for the appreciation for the World Cup winner Alexis McAllister. Szoboszlai, the goal scorer, plays it behind McAllister, but seems quite comfortable for the home team at the moment.
Oh, it is. We mentioned that it's difficult to close down in this weather and use the energy that's needed because the heat does take it out of you. And Aston Villa just seem to be playing in bursts at the moment, and you're right, they've just sat off the pace a little bit, whether that's substitution and the reshuffle is just affecting them at the moment. But Liverpool under no pressure as they're just popping the ball around at the back into midfield, and McAllister, who I think the jury's still out where he'll eventually play for Liverpool, but he's at the holding role at the moment, playing very well.
Another excellent distribution from Alexander-Arnold. Finds Salah, Salah cuts it back, and there is Nunez. But it's all about the vision of Alexander-Arnold. Little bit fortunate how it eventually went in. After Nunez, I think, had hit the post initially. Might go down as an own goal. Liverpool, though, are not complaining. They increased their lead, 2-0.
Well, it will go down as an own goal, but it deserved a Liverpool name on the end of this. It was a brilliant move, as you mentioned, so fluent, so sweet. It came after a stretch of 2 minutes of possession without any actual pressure from Aston Villa at all. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold on the halfway line picks the ball up, and when he does, the Liverpool front three just come alive. They know he has the ability to pick one of them out. It's Salah initially, just spins off the shoulder of Luca Digne, played brilliantly from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then he plays it across to Nunez, who's in support. He should finish it, but he strikes the post, and it comes back and hits Matty Cash on the way in, and he stumbles into the back of his goal mouth. But I think the question is whether Salah was offside in the initial build-up. I think the roar you've just heard suggests that he wasn't.
Yeah, there was a VAR check, but after that check, the goal stands. It's been awarded, and Liverpool lead by 2-0. Last week I was commentating at Sheffield United, and Cash obviously had scored 2 goals, and I made a joke about Cash converter. If that was a Cash own goal, then that's a Cash bonus.
Really? Not for Aston Villa.
Not for Aston Villa, but for Liverpool. The Mail actually led with that headline last week, Cash converter. Luis Diaz with a cross. All of a sudden, though, Villa's task has got.
I take it you were proud about that.
Yeah, doesn't take much. 2-0 to Liverpool. And Aston Villa, they've lost Diego Carlos, and now they find themselves 2 goals down. They've not won in their last 5 visits to Anfield since September 2014.
I think what Aston Villa are dealing with this year is the high line that they operate with. I mean, they operated with it all of last season, and they caught the opposition out so often because strikers would make their runs early or midfielders wouldn't make their runs. This year, teams know what Aston Villa are going to do, so you know you're going to time your runs much better, runners from midfield much better. And as you've seen at Newcastle and today so far, the good teams are going to punish them.
Luis Diaz gives the ball away in the Liverpool midfield to McGinn, turns, feeds it out towards Digne on that far side. Liverpool lead 2-0, BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Matip, though, is far too alert ahead of Watkins. And another ball by Alexander-Arnold. His distribution, my word, it is eye-catching. He's hit 4 balls now. As that free kick goes against Liverpool, Nunez is adjudged to have fouled. Konsa over on that far side. He's hit 4 balls. He's spraying it around at will.
Yeah, his technique's brilliant. That was the first time we've seen somebody realise they don't need to be as precise. And you're talking about Nunez and the runs he made. You can see the appreciation, or you can hear the appreciation from the Liverpool fans. The ground he made up there on Konsa to nearly get the ball and compete, eventually giving away a free kick against the Aston Villa man. But when you've got someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold in possession of the ball and the pace that this front three of Liverpool have got against a high line, we're going to see that pass time and time again.
Well, now it's with Douglas Luiz, whose crossfield ball picks out Bailey. It was a precise pass as well, but again alert defending by Robertson. He's certainly on his A game this afternoon, as Robertson now plays a ball in field, and he's picked out Nunez, lays it off first time to Diaz. Diaz goes down, Camara might get a yellow card here. And the French international is indeed shown yellow by referee Simon Hooper. Let's get an update from Selhurst Park. Sahel Sahi.
We've played 25 minutes here, still goalless between Crystal Palace and Wolves. Nelson Semedo's just been booked for Wolves. Crystal Palace are on the attack, ball flighted towards the far post, headed over by Edouard. But Eberechi Eze, Ian, he's been absolutely brilliant. Some forceful running from him. He's causing the Wolves defence all kinds of problems. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
Cheers, Sahel. Liverpool lead here by 2-0 in the sunshine. They're attacking the Anfield Road end, so they're playing from right to left as we look. It's a few yards up from the left corner of the penalty area. Szoboszlai and Alexander-Arnold are the 2 players who stand over it. Szoboszlai got the first goal, and Matty Cash own goal increased Liverpool's lead. 2 in the wall for Aston Villa. Alexander-Arnold square onto this ball, but it is he who steps forward, right-footed. Matip placed the header down, and the flag stays down as well. Nobody went with him. What a chance that was for Liverpool.
Should be 3. No surprise at the quality of ball in from Trent Alexander-Arnold. The surprise was that nobody was picking up Matip in the middle of the pitch, and once he had his header and missed the target, he quickly looked in hope, I think, the official would put his flag up to let his poor finish off the hook, but he didn't. Concern at the moment is how sloppy Aston Villa are.
And they've just given the ball away again to McAllister. McAllister fired it in quite quick though to Diaz. Villa can't get hold of it. Liverpool again. McAllister, Salah, Curtis Jones touches the ball forward, and then the ball laid back by Nunez, and a nice gentle walking pace with every outfield player in the Villa half. It's Gomez inside the centre circle, turns and plays it back towards Matip, and on the halfway line now has that free man in Curtis Jones. Alexander-Arnold, although he's at right back, is in there, that inverted role once again, but it's so easy at the minute for Liverpool, keeping the ball effortlessly and passing it around at will. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who was actually listed as a midfielder when Gareth Southgate named his England squad for the forthcoming games against Ukraine and Scotland. Salah was looking to make a run off Digne. Szoboszlai hangs on to the ball for the time being. Here is Alexander-Arnold, who now finds Salah just over the halfway line on that far side, and back with Matip, and they've kept the ball here, and Villa at the minute in the sunshine are just chasing shadows. Here is Alexander-Arnold. Szoboszlai, the applause is for the passage of play from Liverpool as Matip runs forward and then just stops, leaves it for Szoboszlai. Nobody had made the run in behind the Aston Villa defence, and as they push up once again, Leon Osman has talked about this high line. That back four is midway through their own half, and there is so much room for Liverpool players to run into when they want to. And at the moment they're going back towards Alisson, but Liverpool completely controlling. Let's get an update from the F1. Harry Benjamin.
To several aborted starts, we are back underway here in Monza, lap 4 of 51. Carlos Sainz leads after starting from pole in the Ferrari, but Max Verstappen is now closing on him, just half a second between them.
Commentary on the BBC website from the Italian Grand Prix, as this is McAllister, hits it early, little touch by Nunez. Szoboszlai and Salah, their presence alone forces Digne to head it out of play for a throw. On Sports Extra this afternoon, by the way, England against New Zealand in the men's T20 from Edgbaston, and then at 6 commentary from the US Open live from New York. So lots of live sport as an alternative to the football. Wall-to-wall football this Sunday afternoon. From Ibrox earlier, we brought you Rangers 0, Celtic 1, and we've got Arsenal Manchester United to come at 4:30 here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Szoboszlai for Liverpool, all in red. The Hungarian international plays it out towards that far side. Nunez then slips. Curtis Jones had made the run. The player was offside anyway, Curtis Jones. Martinez gathers that bouncing ball. We've been playing for half an hour and it's all Liverpool.
Yeah, I'd set off that half an hour. Probably had 28 minutes of possession. Aston Villa just aren't working hard enough when Liverpool have the ball. It's like they drop off. They allow Liverpool to have possession, but they're also playing a high line, so they're giving Liverpool space to run into without putting pressure on the ball. Seems counterintuitive from a defensive point of view, and the opposite can be said of Liverpool. Aston Villa just keep giving the ball away. Liverpool's pressure's been excellent.
Salah is robbed it off Digne on that far side. He's helped out by Douglas Luiz's Digne, but again they can't hold on to it. Gomez high up the pitch wins it back, and then Curtis Jones is dispossessed by Diaby. Diaby now will run forward for Aston Villa. He's away from Curtis Jones, he's over the halfway line. He releases the ball towards Bailey. Bailey on the inside of Robertson, away from Curtis Jones. Bailey has done well, couldn't thread that ball through towards McGinn, and in the end it was Curtis Jones sliding inside his penalty area, but has forced the ball behind for a corner kick. That was better for Aston Villa.
Yeah, well, it's definitely been tough going for Aston Villa so far, but with the players like Diaby and Bailey on the pitch, that they can burst into life. They've got such ability, they can run with the ball so easily, and the pair of them skip past 2 Liverpool players each in that move, nearly linked up at the very end inside the Liverpool penalty area, but forced a corner kick. So maybe with those 2 players on the pitch, they're still in this game.
Luca Digne comes across to take the corner kick, and because of his Everton connections, 127 appearances in his 3.5 years across Stanley Park at Goodison, there are a few boos for the former Evertonian. He takes the corner, it's left-footed, headed away well by Nunez, climbed high. Douglas Luiz midway through the Liverpool half goes all the way back to Martinez. Actually didn't have a good record in the derby games against Liverpool. Digne, who stayed forward on this right-hand side to head it back towards Diaby. He only had one victory in 8 derby games. Matip on the edge of his box finds Gomez. He plays it up towards Salah. Clips it on the inside to Nunez, who tried to return the ball to Salah, and Liverpool have lost it. Konsa prods it forward to McGinn outside the centre circle of the Liverpool half as Aston Villa in their white shirts and sky blue shorts, with 13 minutes to go to half time, trail by 2-0 with Douglas Luiz forward now, and everybody back for Liverpool, and Douglas Luiz has to stroke it to Konsa, and at the minute they just can't find a way through, as again stepping out of defence was Gomez to Diaz. Liverpool have it with Szoboszlai, touches the ball back towards Diaz. Szoboszlai's going to make a run. Cash all of a sudden doesn't know whether to close down Diaz or go with Szoboszlai. He does neither. It's played towards Szoboszlai, cuts it back, and then it was Pau Torres who strode forward then to clear the ball away for Villa, but Cash was in a conundrum. Now Diaby away from a slip from Gomez. Diaby runs forward. He's got a runner in McGinn. McGinn with a shot, just couldn't keep it down left-footed over the top of the crossbar. And it will be a goal kick, and Liverpool still lead by 2-0.
Yeah, they should have done more there. Aston Villa, they should be running back to the halfway line to kick off with the game 2-1. Liverpool just got caught out. You mentioned nearly creating an opportunity at that end of the pitch, just left themselves exposed. And again, Diaby at the heart of it, driving at Liverpool, past Matip, sucks in Trent Alexander-Arnold, leaves the ball for a McGinn shot, 12 yards out on the angle, and he puts it over the top.
Another high ball forward by Alexander-Arnold. He's found Nunez, tried to backheel it into the penalty area for Salah. Pau Torres will run it away for Villa, but Alexander-Arnold read that, steps forward, wins it back. Here is Alexander-Arnold with a cut back. Nunez strikes Konsa. It looked goal bound too, as Liverpool look to try and find another goal as they lead 2-0 here at Anfield. It's actually the first time this season that Aston Villa haven't scored in the opening 20 minutes. They've done so in all 5 games previously. Would you be encouraged with the last couple of attacks that Villa have had if you were a Villa supporter, Leon?
I think it shows me that the team can create things in the game, but I think you'd be more concerned that they'll be 3 or 4 down by the time they actually get their goal in this game. They've just been so off the pace, Aston Villa. They're rolling passes into people's feet. Nobody's coming to the ball. Liverpool are stepping past time and time again. As you mentioned, Trent stepping in front, Matip stepping in front of Watkins. Watkins hasn't really been involved in this game as yet. Bright spark's been Diaby. Liverpool, on the other hand, have looked bright. They've looked imaginative. Darwin Núñez should have been on the score sheet once. Was very unlucky there with this finish. He just seems one of those unfortunate strikers, because he hit that beautifully then, that attempt at goal, and Konsa didn't know a thing about it when it hit him in the face, but it stopped to got a third goal.
That's the voice of the former England international Leon Osman, who is with us as Liverpool lead Aston Villa by 2-0. McGinn midway through his own half. Digne tries to combine with Watkins. The return ball to Digne is lifted back to the England international. Tried to feint header, a deft touch to head it into the path of Diaby, but Liverpool see it back to Alisson, and there is McAllister now. McAllister just in front of that back 4, plays it to Matip, all the time in the world to control it, back to Gomez, and we've got 10 minutes to go to half time, and hardly a cloud in the sky here on Merseyside. Liverpool lead 2-0. Gomez, Alexander-Arnold. He hasn't hit one bad ball yet, Alexander-Arnold, has he?
Oh, we don't actually expect him to, do you? I mean, his quality is such that I think it's more of a surprise when he's having a poor game and when he doesn't pick his pass out. And today he looks like he's thriving wearing the armband for Liverpool. Looks like he wants to be at the heart of every positive move that Liverpool make.
Ball is hit forward by McAllister. It's actually captaining Liverpool for the first time in the Premier League as well today, Alexander-Arnold. He'd previously captained them against Midtjylland in December 2020. But in the absence of Van Dijk, first time that he's led Liverpool out here at Anfield, and he's having such a fine game too. 9 minutes to go to the break. Here is McAllister. Once again he finds that inverted role, ball over the top. Again he had the willing runners with Nunez through the middle, or Salah making the run through the inside right channel. And when he drops into that area, he just gives Liverpool another dimension.
He does. I mean, McAllister could play that pass as well. I mean, Mo Salah went initially for a pass off McAllister, but as soon as Trent Alexander-Arnold gets the ball, every one of them comes alive, every one of them makes a move.
McAllister wins it back. Villa just can't really retain the ball very, very well. Jones forward ball towards Salah. Concert gets there to step forward and finds Douglas Luiz. And now with McGinn, midway through his own half, back towards Pau Torres. He'll have, of course, been a part of that Villarreal side that was managed by Unai Emery. They lost to Liverpool in the semi-finals in 2022. Just a little touch inside by Robertson, fed forward by McAllister. Villa, though, have it with Douglas Luiz, 10 yards inside the Liverpool half, out towards Watkins on this near side, the right. Little touch by Cash, the Polish international, and then played back by Camara to Douglas Luiz, who will open it up and spread it out far wide to the left. Deeney to come forward, hits it first time. McGinn lets it run through, and both Watkins and Diaby were there, and that was the best opportunity that Villa have created, but neither Watkins or Diaby met it really with any meaningful contact, and that chance really did peter out.
Oh, they just got in each other's way. It's the first time in the last 20 minutes where Aston Villa have kept the ball for more than 30 seconds, and in doing so they got past that Liverpool press, switched the ball. Luca Dean just slides it through to the middle. Suddenly Aston Villa have an overload inside the penalty area. As you mentioned, I think it might have been Leon Bailey who came inside and just got in the way of Ollie Watkins, just got across his eye line. Watkins didn't end up having a shot. It hit him more than anything from probably about 7 or 8 yards out, centre of goal, and that is a huge let-off for Liverpool.
Ball played forward. Nunez with his pace, he's after it. He's got Salah up with him. Salah to Nunez. The angle is tight. He hits the crossbar. The rebound headed away, only as far as Jones. Jones still there. They appeal for handball. Jones plays it back towards McAllister outside the area. Forward ball to Alexander-Arnold. Goal kick awarded. Now we'll see if there is a VAR check. But Nunez from the tightest of angles, close to yet another Liverpool goal.
I always feel like you're saying, oh, how unlucky, when you're talking about Darwin Nunez, and that just shows Aston Villa tried to play Mo Salah off on the halfway line, tried to play him offside, but they don't allow for, think about Nunez running from 5 yards deeper. He gets in so easily. Quick link up with Mo Salah, beautiful bit of play, and Nunez just trying to dink the goalkeeper on an angle and just can't get it up and down in time. Hits the crossbar, and he had the potential handball as Cash tried to clear the ball, but it's just so easy for Liverpool to get out in behind that Aston Villa defence.
Been a difficult half really for Aston Villa. 39 minutes played. An update from Selhurst Park. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, 7 minutes to play here to the half-time. Ian, Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0. Wolves getting back into the game. We've just got a break at the moment. Edouard is down. Players taking on liquid, but both sides lacking that little bit of magic, little bit of guile in and around the penalty box. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
This is a stat courtesy of Opta Joe. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the third player to assist 10 or more goals in the Premier League in 2023 after Trossard and Salah, and it's the third time he's assisted 10 league goals in a calendar year. He certainly can't complain about the service from Alexander-Arnold, that is for sure. 5 minutes to go to half time. BBC Radio 5 Live. Liverpool leading by 2-0, and such has been their dominance, they could have had more. Leon Osman.
They could. Aston Villa will point to the fact that they potentially could and should certainly have scored as well, but as you mentioned, Liverpool could be 4 goals to the good at this point. They've been fluent, they've been precise with their pass, their tempo's been very good, they've enjoyed knocking the ball around, and that high line of Aston Villa has given them ample opportunity to get in behind it and create opportunities, and Jurgen Klopp will be pleased with this first half performance, no doubt, but he may tell his team they should have scored more.
5 minutes to go to half time. Robertson off the chest, referee's blown his whistle. It's offside against Robertson, and it will be a free kick to Aston Villa. And Liverpool maintaining where they're carrying on where they left off from last season, really. They're coming into this game unbeaten in 14 in the Premier League. Last defeat at the start of April against Manchester City. A win today would take them level on points with Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham United, and just 2 points behind the leaders. Manchester City, the only side, of course, with a 100% winning start to the new campaign. As Cash hits the ball over the top, Bailey makes the run. Gomez, though, goes with him, hooks it in field. McAllister will get there first. Alexander-Arnold tucked in field once more, central position. He finds Curtis Jones. Jones now towards Diaz. Diaz one-on-one against Cash, who backpedals. And now it's with Diaz inside. Szoboszlai touches the ball, turns with his back to goal, pulls it back. Alexander-Arnold, first time shot, right-footed, drags it wide, goal kick. Liverpool, though, playing some very good football, leading 2-0.
Well, that's his worst strike of the ball of today. That, as the ball came back to him, he just thought it's all set up to him to have a wonderful strike at goal, probably 25, 27 yards out, but actually scuffs it, pulls it to the left-hand side of that goal frame. But as you said, it's just too easy for Liverpool, and I feel like you're repeating yourself that Aston Villa aren't seemingly working hard enough when Liverpool have the ball, and Liverpool are precise in possession, thoroughly enjoying their first half.
This is the second of 3 commentaries. In the first at half-time, we'll bring you the reaction to Rangers 0, Celtic 1, where Celtic go to the top of the table of the Scottish Premiership. That'll come up at half-time for you. 4:30, we're at the Arsenal-Manchester United match. Here is Watkins for Aston Villa, just outside the D, to Diaby. Diaby enters the penalty area, off his left foot, tries to place it, and places it just wide. He's always a danger when he gets it onto that trusty left foot of his. But it dropped wide and it'll be a goal kick, and we've got 2 minutes to go to the break, and Liverpool still lead 2-0.
Well, he's been the bright spark, there's no doubt about it, from Aston Villa, but just as Liverpool played the ball into midfield, there just a bit of pressure from John McGinn, just snuck on the shoulder of Szoboszlai, just nicked the ball off him. Suddenly Aston Villa are in good position to have an attempt on goal. Unfortunate that Diaby just missed the target.
Szoboszlai running forward towards Salah. He was caught by Digne. And that'll be a free kick. Simon Hooper will just award that without taking any action against the former Everton player. About 6 yards inside the Villa half. Liverpool take the throw, and Szoboszlai and Alexander-Arnold just exchange a few passes between each other as at a nice gentle walking pace here in the heat at Anfield. Curtis Jones now with Robertson. Gomez. The only thing you'd say about Aston Villa is that under Unai Emery, they do tend to find the back of the net in games. They've failed to score only 2 of their last 28 games in the Premier League. They have had a couple of opportunities in the last 10 minutes or so. Certainly that one from Digne's cross, you'd have thought, whether it be Watkins or Bailey, one of them should have got on the end of it. Here, meanwhile, is Luis Diaz. But this is where Liverpool can almost get drawn into a false sense of security. They lull you in because they're keeping the ball at the back. It's very easy, Ozzy. They're not really going anywhere. Then all of a sudden, with that high line, they can play that ball over the top and they can be in on goal.
Well, that's the difference. You think about the Liverpool game against Newcastle last week, where Liverpool just sat in the possession. Newcastle didn't do an awful lot to try and create something, but that's the difference for this Liverpool team. Liverpool are keeping the ball, and then suddenly there's a burst into action. There's a real desire to go and get a goal, and it's really caught Aston Villa out. Aston Villa are trying to hang in there at times, and then seem surprised when Liverpool play that very obvious ball over the top of the defence.
In fact, on this occasion, whilst Leon was talking, Szoboszlai played it down the sides on the right and looked for Nunez to make the run out towards that right-hand side. We're inside the last 30 seconds of stoppage time. Liverpool lead 2-0. It's with McAllister coming forward in the centre circle. He accelerates, gets away from a couple of challenges, then loses the ball from Camara. Douglas Luiz carries it forward now for Villa, and Camara looking towards the run of Diaby. Diaby, left-hand side of the penalty area, slips, and that allows Gomez to clear for Liverpool. And Jurgen Klopp applauds, as do the Liverpool supporters inside Anfield. Although he benefited from the slip, I think it's hard to tell actually the electronic digits. 4 minutes of just down to the brightness, hard to detect the 4 on the electronic scoreboard down below from the fourth official, who is Tony Harrington. But thankfully the PA announcer confirmed that it was the 4 which we're now into, as a cross comes in from Digne, and that's right down the throat of Alisson in the Liverpool goal in front of the Kop, in the shadows of the Kop on this gorgeous afternoon on BBC Radio 5 Live. Gomez plays it to McAllister. McAllister, Curtis Jones. It's like a training game. They're just stroking the ball around. Liverpool, no pressure from Villa. Sometimes you get a team that will go up and try and pressure quite high. Villa have dropped off and Liverpool can play it around at will at the back.
Well, that's what the surprise has been, as you mentioned, that Aston Villa have come here and played with a high line but without any pressure. You know, usually you either drop away and there's no pressure, or you play high line and you put pressure on the ball, and at the moment Liverpool are just knocking the ball around at will with just the ease.
Diaz did well. The referee played a good advantage there. He was having his shirt pulled all over the place by Cash as McAllister. That in the game flow, referee Simon Hooper. Here is Alexander-Arnold again in the centre circle. Gets it back once more, and Alexander-Arnold all the time. Instead he plays it towards Robertson. He's got Curtis Jones, who's now on the ball here on this left-hand side, towards McAllister. McAllister to Gomez, left of the centre circle on the halfway line. Now to Matip. And again, because he's in a central area at the minute, the only player out wide at the moment is Nunez, actually, who's now coming forward in off that right touchline. His diagonal ball is cleared by Pau Torres, who plays it out towards Watkins, who drifted out towards the left in that gap vacated by Alexander-Arnold. But there is Matip to cover. And if there is an out ball for Aston Villa, they can't hold on to it. It's going to just keep coming back.
Yeah, the balance has been good from Liverpool today. As you mentioned, Joel Matip just drifts out to a wider position to allow Trent to come back into the middle, and Ollie Watkins is trying to bend his run into that area. Joel Matip is already using that space, and Aston Villa just haven't found a clear way to build attacks to get out. They've been very, very sporadic with anything that they've made through the middle, but it's always included Diaby. He's been the bright spark for them today in this first half.
Alexander-Arnold, another delightful ball. He releases Salah. Salah shoots. It's spilled by the goalkeeper, cleared away by Pau Torres. Only as far as Curtis Jones, who wins that challenge against Camara, and Liverpool win the ball back. And once again, another ball over the top by Alexander-Arnold. A faultless display by the Liverpool captain in this first half. Liverpool lead by 2-0. Here now is Matip over the halfway line, and we have entered the last 60 seconds of the 4 minutes of added on time. Do Liverpool have time for a third goal? They're making it look so easy at the moment, as the ball is played out towards Robertson. Robertson inside to Curtis Jones. He's Curtis Jones, who's missed the last two with an ankle injury. Back in the side, one of 3 changes made by Jurgen Klopp. They play it back towards Alisson. Watkins will race towards the Liverpool keeper. Back towards Alisson, plays it out towards Curtis Jones, and then plays it on the inside to Gomez. Outside the D, he collects it. And again, Alexander-Arnold wasn't in the right back role, because he's here, playing on the left-hand side, and he's looked to try and feed a ball forward towards Diaz. Gomez looked towards him, and then he realised he wasn't there, and he's playing as a midfielder, essentially.
A roaming midfielder at that. He's not just off that right-hand side of midfield. He's been terrific, as have Liverpool in this first half.
There they have been terrific, and they lead by 2-0, and they scored with a lovely sweet strike from Szoboszlai, a half volley after 3 minutes. And then Alexander-Arnold will release Salah. Nunez hit the post and the rebound went in off Cash. Matip's had a free header since. Nunez has had a chip against the crossbar, and Villa have had a couple of opportunities in the last 7 minutes of that first half. But by and large, it is Liverpool who've bossed it. And at half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0.
Leon, I'll come back to you in a second, but the half-time whistle's just gone at Selhurst Park. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0, Steve. Lively first half. Wolves started brighter, but once Eze got involved, he caused a headache for the Wolves defence on more than one occasion. He was tripped in the penalty area. VAR checked, but no penalty. From the restart, Jose Sarr, the Wolves goalkeeper, he gave the ball away. Jordan Ayew's shot was cleared off the line, which fell to Edouard, who lashed over from 8 yards out. It's only goals we lack. Half-time, Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
Leon, Alexander-Arnold's had a brilliant first half. I'm just watching the Villa players. You get a little camera inside the tunnel at Anfield. Shoulders absolutely hunched as they head for the dressing room. They've been miles off it, haven't they?
They have. I mean, you're right by saying Trent Alexander-Arnold has had a terrific game. But if you think about what makes him good, then Aston Villa have contributed to that hugely. They've not put any pressure on him when he's in possession of the ball, and they've given him loads of space to drop his passes in and get runners for him to create opportunities. So Aston Villa seem a dream for Trent Alexander-Arnold to play against, as have for the whole of the team for this Liverpool side. They've been very good in possession. They've been not put under pressure when they're in possession either by Aston Villa, so it's been very easy for them to create opportunities. Aston Villa have had a couple of moments, not enough for me. They've not contributed enough for me in that first half, but when they get Diaby in possession in the final third, he can create things, he can make things happen. So they'll still feel that there's something in this game for them, but they're going to have to really raise their levels from what's been a very dominant first half display from Liverpool.
Thank you very much for the time being, guys. Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0, second half commentary on the way. Then we'll be off to the Emirates for Arsenal versus Manchester United. We'll make our first trip of the day there shortly. We've got reaction from Brendan Rodgers to come as well after Celtic beat Rangers in the Old Firm derby. We'll also be at the F1 in Monza, which you can listen to on the BBC Sport website, and England versus New Zealand in that third T20 game, which right now is on 5 Sports Extra. All of that to come after the news with Stuart Clarkson. Here on 5 Live, the football, so we'll keep you up to date with Crystal Palace against Wolves. That's 0-0 at half-time. We've got full commentary on the way of Arsenal-Manchester United at 4:30. Before that, the second half from Anfield with Leon Osman and Ian Dennis.
Thanks, Steve. Well, Jurgen Klopp has been sat down there for a good 2 or 3 minutes before the Liverpool players have even come out. Now Trent Alexander-Arnold, as Liverpool captain, leads out the Liverpool players, leading 2-0. And I think, Leon Osman, that just underlines how relaxed he is at this stage without being complacent, bearing in mind his team leading 2-0 at the break, and they had 70% possession in that first half.
Yeah, completely dominant display by his team. His tactics have worked, the players are playing well, they're moving the ball quickly, and he'll have basically just gone in and said more of the same. I mean, even although he scored the 2 goals in the last game, he probably may have played anyway, but the pace of Darwin Núñez instead of Gakpo, we may drop a bit deeper. That tactical change has worked brilliantly against a very high Aston Villa defence. So more of the same. He'll try and be aware of any changes Aston Villa may make to try and get back into the game, whether that be personnel or tactical. But it couldn't have gone much better for him and his team.
Well, Liverpool haven't made any changes, so Alisson is in goal. Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Matip and Robertson are the back four, although, as we've been saying in that first half, for a lot of the time Alexander-Arnold has been playing in that hybrid midfield role. Szoboszlai, McAllister and Jones, Salah, Núñez and Diaz. Szoboszlai and a cash own goal give Liverpool the 2-0 lead as they get their second half underway, all in red, playing from left to right, attacking the Kop end against an Aston Villa side in their white shirts and sky blue shorts, who made the change in the first half with Diego Carlos, who was that's offside against Watkins. Diego Carlos leaving the field of play through injury. He was replaced by Leon Bailey, so they now line up with Martinez in goal, Cash as a right back, Concert and Pau Torres as the 2 central defenders, Digne at left back, and then it's Bailey, Camara, Douglas Luiz, McGinn, Diaby and Watkins. But Liverpool very, very good in that first half, and looking to maintain this excellent home run, unbeaten 13 at Anfield, as Salah down the line to Szoboszlai, running in behind Digne, in front of the Kop, away from Digne with ease. He did well. Szoboszlai enters the penalty area, pulls it back. Diaz couldn't control it. Cleared out as far as Salah, and Salah tees himself up with a left-footed effort that was always on the rise, and into the Kop. Szoboszlai is going to be such a firm favourite here.
Oh, he's had a great start to his Liverpool career and had a wonderful 46 minutes of this game. Scored a goal early in the game, constantly making runs in behind, and that's what he does here. Drifts out into that right wing area that was vacated by Salah. Happy to do so as well. We've seen for years Jordan Henderson make runs out into this position, and he doesn't have this skill Szoboszlai does, dropping his shoulder, beating defenders, getting in the penalty area, picking out the right pass as well. Salah couldn't finish it.
Diaby was adjudged to have been fouled by McAllister. Referee Simon Hooper gives that free kick. It's about 6-8 yards forward of the centre circle in the Aston Villa half. The Aston Villa supporters who've made that journey up the M6 are in the bottom tier away towards our left. They've got half of that Anfield Road end. Liverpool are hopeful that the top tier that is currently redundant due to the redevelopment work, they've got the extra 7,000 seats that will eventually take the capacity up to 61,000. They're hoping that it will be up and running for in October. But it's Liverpool who lead 2-0. We've got 2.5 minutes into the second half. Concert with a free kick to Douglas Luiz. Back towards Camara. Camara now plays it to Digne, who sends over the left-footed cross, and the header from Cash is pushed out well by Alisson. Big corner kick. Alisson did ever so well. Cash, good header, and Villa close to getting a goal back.
Yeah, really good play by Aston Villa. Very simple in its build-up, just moving the ball out left to Luca Dini, who whips a beautiful ball in right along that 6-yard line to the far post. Cash meets it on his own at the back post. Good header back across, and met very well by Alisson. All the Villa players ran to the referee hoping he'd look at his watch, but didn't go over the line. Great save by Alisson.
Good strong wrist from Alisson. Corner kick. It's swung over now from the right hand side. Watkins can't get there, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Arsenal Manchester United to come at 4:30. All the games over the weekend will be digested in the Monday Night Club with Mark Chapman at 7 o'clock tomorrow. As Salah is released, Digne couldn't cut it out. Salah enters the penalty area. Salah with a cross. Nunez with a far post header wide. What a delightful ball from Salah outside of the left boot, and Nunez just threw himself at it. It was a flying header, and he's smiling now, Nunez, and Liverpool almost had a third.
Oh, everything about that was brilliant. Trent Alexander-Arnold from the corner of his own penalty area plays a pass over the top of Digne to the corner of the Aston Villa penalty area. Salah onto it, as you say. His was outside of the foot. And then Nunez, I don't think he can do any more. He's stretching with his head, he's stretching with his foot, he's giving it everything he can to get on the end of it, and it just misses the far upright. But brilliant play from Liverpool, and again, I feel like I say it quite a lot, unlucky from Darwin Nunez.
And also again, and I'm aware that we the danger of repetition with Alexander-Arnold, but another truly sumptuous ball out from defence.
Yeah, and I think a pass always looks better when it entices a defender into trying his best to get it, and again tried everything he could to get on the end of that, just couldn't.
He's at it again in that hybrid role. He was this time trying to pick out Diaz. Are you surprised that Villa just don't leave somebody out on this left-hand side? Because Alexander-Arnold is vacating that role, just leave them out there, and then that switch of play when they do get it, they've got a natural outlet.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of trying to take advantage of it, but to do so, you kind of have to be brave. You kind of have to have a player that we call in the cheating position, which means they're not going to help you defensively. They're just going to stand up and, old school goal hang in that position. But can you afford to do that against a Liverpool team that's so fluent and potent that you kind of need everybody back helping out? But it's the gamble that if you're prepared to take may pay off, and may actually demand that Trent actually plays in that position.
Aston Villa tried to get the ball through to Watkins. That was cut out by Matip. I know from many a conversation with Chris Waddle in that excellent Marseille side, they would just say to him, you just stay out wide and we'll get the ball to you. And I remember Brighton coming here, and Trossard played predominantly on the left. He scored a hat-trick that particular day for Brighton, and he had a lot of joy taking advantage around the back of Alexander-Arnold. But Liverpool in control, 6 minutes into the second half. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 3:10 on this Sunday afternoon. Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0. So in about 20 minutes time we'll bring you the team news of Arsenal Manchester United, which is our next commentary. Cash, Pau Torres in the shadows of the Kop strides forward out of defence for Aston Villa. Left-footed ball, easily cut out by Diaz, runs it towards Diaby, now finds McGinn, centre circle of the Liverpool half. Alexander-Arnold though read it, his forward ball, Nunez the willing runner, Martinez one bounce and it's into the arms, and the Argentine keeper throws it out underarm towards Cash, the Polish international. Camera gives it back to Cash. So Villa have had a couple of opportunities where you're thinking they could, or as you said, should have scored, and then all of a sudden it makes it a different complexion, doesn't it, once they get a goal back. That's why Liverpool will want a third, just to put this game out of Villa's reach, as McGinn has to try and fight his way out of a tight spot, surrounded by McAllister, Szoboszlai and Salah, and he gets a free kick which is taken by Cash to Douglas Luiz. 2-0.
I think in the first 7 minutes of this second half, I think Aston Villa have shown more desire, more fight than they did in the entirety of that first half. They're trying to play in Liverpool's half, they're being braver in possession of the ball, trying to make things happen, especially get Diaby on the ball. continue to just play sloppy passes and underhit a couple. But it definitely looks like Unai Emery's had a word or two with them at half-time.
An extraordinary day at Villa Park when Watkins scored a hat-trick and Villa won 7-2. Is Aston Villa's only success in 11 Premier League meetings. They're trailing here by 2-0. As again Liverpool pressing high and putting pressure on Konsa, who has to concede a throw-in, which again gets the applause from Jurgen Klopp, still looking very, very relaxed, all in black in the sunshine. His side with a cushion here, and Alexander-Arnold looking towards Salah. Salah to Curtis Jones, who wins that 50-50 challenge, and Salah almost got on the end of Cash, who could have easily run into trouble with the Egyptian international. Here's the Boslai, just plays it inside to McAllister, back towards Gomez. Villa now putting Liverpool under a bit more pressure. At times they were quite happy for Liverpool to have the ball at that stage of the field. Here is Alexander-Arnold, who is forward. They've got two white shirts who are with him. And he gets a corner kick as Digne stumbles and falls to the floor, and it rolls off his chest and behind. And the appreciation for the Liverpool captain, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
He's enjoying the role of captain today. Just trusts himself in possession of the ball. 2v1 against him. Didn't panic, knew he was out of position, knew that Aston Villa were actually looking favourite to take the ball off him, but just kept on going, worked really hard and forced his team a corner. Looks like he's thriving as that role of captain.
Robertson to take the corner kick in front of the Kop, near side the right. It'll be an in-swinger, left-footed. In it comes now. Nunez, Salah at the far post. Salah had to score. He loves playing against Aston Villa. And Mo Salah finds the back of the net. It's now 7 goals in 7 starts against Villa. And Mo Salah scores for the 150th different game for Liverpool. 3-0.
Well, Salah finally on the score sheet. You knew it wouldn't take too long. Always scores against Aston Villa. And it was very simple in its play. Beautiful ball in from Robertson, in swinger, front of on the 6-yard line, front post. Nunez just gets above everyone, just guides it towards that far post, and as all top strikers do, that position, that Pomo position of most opportunity at the back post, he's just there and he just toe pokes it in. He doesn't even side foot it, toe poke it into the back of the goal. Emery will be fuming. 2 set pieces conceded from his team for Liverpool. Rightly 3-0 ahead.
So 3-0 to Liverpool and an opening goal at Selhurst Park, Sahel Sahi.
And 1-0 to Crystal Palace. They lead Wolves by Mitchell darting down the left-hand side after good work in midfield. A low ball towards the near post, and Edouard was the quickest to poke home from 6 yards away. Crystal Palace 1, Wolves 0.
Liverpool are hungry, they're looking for more goals. Cut out by Konsa for Robertson's ball from that left-hand side, and still that desire for the Liverpool players. Szoboszlai closing down Villa, there's no let-up, it's unrelenting. And Juliet Farrington, who'll be getting the after-match reaction for you on BBC Radio 5 Live, that will bring you a little later on. She was talking to Jurgen Klopp in his press conference ahead of the game, and he was saying to her about, we can make a good start into a very good start. This is going to be 10 points out of a possible 12 for Liverpool.
Yeah, and I'd say that a draw away at Chelsea certainly not a bad result at all, despite them developing at the moment. So Liverpool will be pleased with the way they've started this season.
Nunez herring after the ball, left-hand side, he'll get there. Nunez tries to go it alone, the angle is tight, pulls it back towards Salah, and then just stepping forward, right side of the 6-yard box was Konsa to bring it out for Aston Villa. Long way back now for Villa.
I just wanted to do a little bit too much there, Darwin Nunez, such as his confidence at the moment, but he's starting to look like the striker that they signed last season. He's leading the line very well, he's holding the ball up, he's physically up for the challenge at the moment, showing desire to get back and close down and defend as well. As you mentioned, this start to the season from Liverpool continued from how they finished the end of last season, which is always important. Want to keep the momentum going. At the moment they look very strong.
And what about that run for Mo Salah, scoring now in 150 different games for Liverpool. Goal 188 in his Liverpool career.
It's incredible. You know, he's talking, being up there with the greats of Liverpool Football Club. He's certainly had some greats. Now all the talk is Well, they were able to keep him this season. Interest from the Saudi League and the money they're talking about. Jurgen Klopp will not want to lose him from this Liverpool team.
No, you sense that the only way that could happen now is that if Mo Salah makes things awkward and makes it clear that he wants to leave. And what Jurgen Klopp was saying ahead of the game, I don't think that necessarily is the case. And I don't think necessarily he'd want to taint his legacy here at Anfield. And you talk about him being amongst the greats. Ian Rush, Roger Hunt, Gordon Hodgson, Billy Liddell. They're the only 4 Liverpool players in the Liverpool's illustrious history who are ahead of him when it comes to scoring goals. He is a Liverpool legend. And he scored, as he always does, against Aston Villa, and they lead by 3-0. McGinn back with Pau Torres. We're approaching the hour mark here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Torres to Douglas Luiz. With the exception of Konsa, everybody's in the Liverpool half. He's now out with Dina. He's put some good balls in from the left-hand side. You think at least 2 of his crosses should really have brought about a goal. Douglas Luiz forward to Watkins, making the run. Watkins doesn't keep the ball in play, and it goes out for a goal kick. Mention about the Rugby Union World Cup that starts on Friday. France-New Zealand is the opening game. All 48 games that are live on 5 Live Sports Extra, the BBC Sounds app or the website. Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on 5 Live, all about Martin Johnson, who's in conversation with Mark Chapman as part of the build-up. You won't miss any of the action through BBC Radio, as we're going to have a triple change down below. We're going to have Gakpo, Harvey Elliott and Jota coming on for Liverpool. Liverpool lead by 3-0, and very, very comfortable for Liverpool. It's with Curtis Jones on that far side. Now with Gomez. Hardly missed Van Dijk, have they, with that suspension?
No, they haven't. Their defence hasn't really been tested. Ollie Watkins hasn't been able to get involved in the game enough. The only, as I mentioned, bright spark certainly in that first half was Diaby. We haven't seen enough of him in the second half. I think Villa started this second half better than they played in the first, but them old habits came back into the game. They started to get caught in possession. They started to move further and further back into their own half, deeper and deeper. Liverpool's pressure has been excellent in this entire game, forced Aston Villa backwards, and then they conceded another goal, and all that brightness that Villa started this second half in just ebbed away.
Do you think Salah stays on the field, bearing in mind that he didn't react too happily by being removed as a substitute at Chelsea? You've got 2 forward players who are going to come on. Are you thinking that it's Diaz and Nunez to go off and keep Salah on?
Well, I think we know what his reaction will be if he leaves the field of play, but as a manager I think you probably do take him off at the moment.
Digne with the cross. Villa are going to be making a change as well, but Gomez gets there before Watkins. Salah with a touch to Alexander-Arnold, keeps the ball in play to Nunez. If he can play it in towards Salah, he's in on goal, because Konsa came across towards this near side and there was a gaping hole in that Villa back line. McGinn does well to keep the ball in play for Villa. Salah working so hard. Douglas Luiz gets away out of trouble, in fact gets to his feet. Good refereeing from Simon Hooper's played the advantage. Douglas Luiz out towards Bailey. Bailey running forward. Villa trail 3-0. Bailey on a good scoring run of form himself with the cross. McGinn with a header straight at Alisson. And Villa going to be making one alteration too.
When they string their passes together and they're actually keeping their concentration levels high to make sure their passes go where they expect to, Aston Villa are creating chances, just forced a Liverpool. In that first bit of pressure we've just seen, Matip losing concentration, trying to play a back pass and giving a corner kick away. So Aston Villa, as soon as they step their tempo up in any way, they look like a good team. They've just not been at their level enough in this game.
Zaniolo is going to be coming on. Nicola Zaniolo, the Italian, who's on loan from Galatasaray, getting his final instructions. Villa then, from that mistake by Matip, have a corner kick, trailing 3-0, 62 minutes played. BBC Radio 5 Live, also available on BBC Sounds. Corner kick to Aston Villa. Swung over from that far side, the right, and the header from Pau Torres dropped straight towards Alisson. Salah was away again. There was a break on there. Cash had gone with him. Still that triple substitution waits to be made. Instead it's out towards Robertson. Robertson plays it early. Nunez is ahead of him. Nunez now on that left. Robertson going through the middle on the inside. Here is Robertson with a cut back towards Salah. Just couldn't quite pick him out, and it bounces off the shins of Cash, and it'll be brought away by Digne. They do want more goals though. They're not going to just sit back on the 3, one suspects.
Yeah, the desire is still there. That attitude that runs through this Liverpool team to score more, to create more, to get more players on the score sheet still remains. And they're counter-attacking from defending a set piece. They had 2 opportunities to create there. Mo Salah was in a foot race with Matty Cash, had Alisson seen, but he went a different avenue. Still created a big chance.
Ball played forward, Salah's onto it. Martinez is there, might have just strayed offside. Goal at Selhurst Park, Sahel.
Wolves have equalised. Crystal Palace 1, Wolves 1 from a free kick from the left-hand side, and Hwang leapt the highest, 8 yards away, and it drifted past Sam Johnston. Crystal Palace 1, Wolves 1.
Triple change is about to be made, so let's get an update from the Formula 1. Harry Benjamin.
Well, less than 10 laps to go here in the Italian Grand Prix, and there has been overtakes left, right and centre after starting from pole. Carlos Sainz of the Ferrari can't do it for the home fans. Max Verstappen has taken the lead and looks set to take his 10th consecutive Formula 1 race win.
Let's get an update from Hearts Motherwell. Kenny Crawford.
22 minutes gone, Ian. It's Hearts 0, Motherwell 0. Few chances for Motherwell. They had a flurry of corners. One of them landed on the head of Beavis Mugabe, the Ugandan international, big centre-back for Motherwell. It was goal-bound but tipped over by Scotland international goalkeeper Zander Clark. As for Hearts, the host Alex Lowry, on loan from Rangers, had one tame shot over the bar, but still 0-0 here between Hearts and Motherwell.
And the answer is that Salah does stay on the field of play, because Gakpo has replaced Nunez, Harvey Elliott has replaced Curtis Jones, and Diogo Jota has replaced Diaz. And then now I think the substitute has been substituted, because we had a change earlier on through that injury to Diego Carlos. Leon Bailey has came on to replace him, but Zaniolo has come on to replace the earlier substitution for Aston Villa. So Nicola Zaniolo is on for just his second appearance. Liverpool still lead by 3-0. We're getting the team news in a short while, in about 5 minutes time I would suspect, from the Emirates. Arsenal Manchester United is our next commentary at 4:30. Match of the day 2 tonight is at 10:30. You'll be able to see all the goals for yourself. But here Liverpool leading 3-0, 65 minutes played. As Douglas Luiz. I suppose the only other thing from a Liverpool point of view, they're yet to keep a clean sheet this season. They'd want, from what the manager would describe as a perfect performance, a first clean sheet of the season, and to go along with the 3 points.
Yeah, they'll definitely want it. Everybody sets their stall by keeping a clean sheet. That's how you win games, especially when you've got a strike force and an attacking unit that Liverpool haven't. Talking about those 3 changes, I suppose in a week where you're trying to keep Mo Salah as happy as possible, it's no surprise that he was the striker that was left on the field. But the 3 that went off all contributed to this 3-0 scoreline, especially Darwin Núñez, who looked as good as I've seen him in a Liverpool shirt today. Thought he played excellently. And from an Aston Villa point of view, nobody likes to be the sub that gets substituted, but I'm not sure Bailey did an awful lot today.
Villa take a quick free kick. McGinn tried a diagonal ball along the ground for Diaby midway through the Liverpool half. That was cut out by Matip. Ball played forward by Robertson. Szoboszlai plays it back. Gomez to Alexander-Arnold. His forward ball was to Elliott. That was cut out by Zaniolo. The ball by Camara, though, easily intercepted back by Alexander-Arnold, who floats the ball out towards Jota on that far side, the left, and Jota runs in field. Cash is backpedaling 30 yards out from goal. Szoboszlai to Jota with his back to goal. Liverpool are attacking the Kop end, leading by 3-0. Here is Gomez just outside the centre circle. Aston Villa have every white shirt back behind the ball. The 2 central defenders, Gomez and Matip, pass the ball towards each other. Now it goes forward towards Jota, and still that high line from Aston Villa as they try and squeeze the play, as Robertson goes back inside to Gomez. Gakpo will be wanting to get on the score sheet. You think of Liverpool's forward players, he's the only one who's yet to find back of the net so far in this early part of the season, as Digne with a challenge through the back of Salah gives away a free kick to Liverpool.
It looked nasty on that from Luca Digne. He was stretching for the ball. I don't know if he was trying to make sure he didn't lose it, shall we say, but it looked like he just went over the ball. Simon Hooper saw it quick to blow the whistle. Good to see Mo Salah being able to get up.
We talked earlier about he scored in a 150th different game for Liverpool. Very, very soon he'll be approaching his 150th game at Anfield. His record now is 148 here at this famous stadium and 102 goals. That's just at Anfield alone. Alexander-Arnold to take it. In it goes. Matip tried to brush it on into the path of Salah, who is making the run behind him. Out of play it goes for a goal kick. But Liverpool 3, Aston Villa 0 is the latest score here on BBC Radio 5 Live.
And I'm making the statement then, I'll be surprised if it stays 3-0. I think Liverpool still look like they want to go in search of more goals. You've just made a triple substitution. All three want to contribute with assists and goals themselves. They're driving forward. They're trying to make sure Liverpool keep on the front foot. It's exactly what Jurgen Klopp wants throughout his squad. He wants to be able to make changes, and the quality of the play this side is showing doesn't drop at all.
The voice of Leon Osman with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live as Alexander-Arnold makes a surging run and he goes to shoot, and he does so. The crowd wanted him, he obliged, and right-footed, it just whistles over the top. That would have capped a superb display from the Liverpool captain, but it is a goal kick. Let's get an update from the cricket. It's England against New Zealand in the men's T20 at Edgbaston. Adam Mountford.
New Zealand's batters making hay in the Birmingham sunshine. 115 for 2 in the 14th. Finn Allen on 58. Phillips on 25. Devon Conway run out for 9. Seifert stumped off Livingston for 19. The men out. New Zealand 115 for 2 in the 14th.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. Here is Gakpo. Turns it in towards Salah. Salah steadies himself. Looks for the shooting opportunity. Still has the ball. Tight, surrounded by white shirts. Wins a corner kick inside the penalty area. 20 minutes to go.
He had an opportunity to get a shot away there. Mo Salah wanted to beat that extra man, and in doing so just gave Aston Villa the opportunity to get back and defend. But it comes again from sloppy play from Aston Villa. Pau Torres trying to play a pass into midfield, giving the ball away, and Liverpool able to make an attack because of it.
Alexander-Arnold has actually gone down at the moment. He's just sat down midway through the Aston Villa half. The physio is on. Szoboszlai's on his haunches just checking on the England international, as Liverpool are going to be making a change. I mentioned that England-New Zealand in the T20 at Edgbaston is on Sports Extra. Then at 6 there'll be commentary from the US Open live from New York. So the tennis coverage will be on Sports Extra from 6. After we've brought you Arsenal-Manchester United at 4:30, it'll be 606 08085 909 693. I'm sure Gareth Southgate will be hoping that this is nothing serious for Alexander-Arnold, but he's going to be coming off, and he's not walking too freely either, is he?
No, he doesn't look comfortable, and it came straight after an excellent bit of play that he just had, where he picked the ball up in a right back position. He beat 2 or 3 men, ran through the centre of the pitch, ended up in a number 10 position, probably 10 yards outside the penalty area. 3 ahead of him to pick up. Salah, Gakpo, Jota, probably the only person in the team that they don't mind shooting from there, turning down those options ahead of him. Put it over the bar, and doing so found himself injured.
Robertson with a corner kick and comes off the head of Zaniolo. Back into the penalty area it goes. Matip tees up Szoboszlai, looks for the shooting opportunity and pulls it wide. Just for the concern for Gareth Southgate, Alexander-Arnold has gone straight down the tunnel here at Anfield. Team news now from Arsenal, John Murray.
Well, confirmation Thomas Partey is absent for Arsenal. He's out injured. Zinchenko comes in for his first start of the season. Gabriel is back in the team for the first time in the league this season. So White moves across to right back. Kivior's on the bench. And with Nketiah in for Trossard, that's 3 changes for Arsenal. Just the one for United. Lindelof is in for the injured Varane at the back. But the new centre forward, Rasmus Højlund, is named as a substitute. That's the first time he's been involved. And of the recent arrivals this week, Amrabat is not involved yet. Reguilon and Johnny Evans are on the bench. So is Harry Maguire, incidentally, as is the new substitute goalkeeper Altay Bayındır.
Matt Upson, who is with John, commentary from 4:30. Aston Villa have made a change. Yuri Tielemans has come on for Douglas Luiz. In fact, it was a double change as well, wasn't it? Because they've also made Duran, who's come on to replace Ollie Watkins. Liverpool, meanwhile, are attacking. Elliott to Gakpo. Gakpo with a cutback on the left-hand side, stopped by Tielemans, cleared away by Aston Villa, and then McGinn looks for the early release to try and set the young Colombian international away downfield. Kwanzaa incidentally came on to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold, so a home debut for Jarrell Kwanzaa, the 20-year-old defender, as we will now go to Tynecastle and Kenny Crawford.
And the visitors, Ian, have a lead. It's Hearts 0, Motherwell 1. It was a brilliantly worked goal, finished off by former Southampton youngster Callum Slattery. His third goal of the season, put through by Blair Spittle. Initially the flag went up for offside, but VAR checked it and gave it. Brilliant goal for Motherwell. They lead Hearts 1-0 at Tynecastle.
And earlier, Rangers 0, Celtic 1 is how it finished at Ibrox. If you missed any of the reaction, of course, it'll be available on the 5 Live Football Daily Pod, whether it be from Ibrox, Anfield, the Emirates, or indeed Selhurst Park. And talking of pods, tomorrow the Daily Salah into the penalty area for Liverpool. Salah shoots! Salah couldn't keep it down right-footed. Gakpo was up with him. Tomorrow, daily content every day for the Rugby Union podcast ahead of the World Cup that starts on Friday. In fact, the keeper must have got a touch for that. It's a corner kick.
Yeah, again, just so easy for Liverpool to get in behind this high line of Aston Villa. The pace has been replaced. The pace of Núñez and Diaz has just been replaced with Jota, and Gakpo still have an ample opportunity to make those runs. Salah again in behind, and you're right, keeper just touching his efforts over the bar. Another opportunity for Liverpool.
16 minutes remain of normal time. Liverpool lead Aston Villa by 3-0 on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sound. Szoboszlai to take the corner kick, right-footed. It's an outswinger, it's deep. Matip with a header, headed away by Konsa, drops to Elliott. Elliott shoots just wide. Got another touch on its way through. Martinez at full stretch, corner kick for Liverpool. Elliott might have been caught after the shot. He's gone down, looks in pain just outside the D. Liverpool corner kick in front of the Kop. He's now back on his feet.
It's unfortunate there, as the ball looped up to him on the edge of the box. Same position, well, similar position to where Szoboszlai scored the opening goal. Takes a touch, hits it quite well, and you're right, deflected wide from Konsa. Liverpool just pushing one way. There's only, it seems, one goal. The next goal is going to be scored into. Aston Villa just not really taking part at the moment. Liverpool are pushing and pushing.
Szoboszlai with this corner kick again from the right. It's another outswinger. It's over the head of Matip this time, but it's going to be retrieved by Elliott, left corner of the area. Back to Robertson outside the centre circle. He hits the ball and tries to hoist it out to this right hand side. Matip ducked underneath it, and then he gives away a foul on Tielemans. As I noticed, some of the Aston Villa supporters now are just starting to drift towards the exits in that bottom tier in the Anfield Road end. Haven't really had too much to cheer about, although you think Digne's cross, 7 minutes before half time, that could have had an opportunity for either Bailey or Watkins, and then that Cash header that was beaten out by Alisson. And as it is, the next goal was scored by Liverpool, who lead 3-0. Here is Duran, shoots from the left corner of the area. Very ambitious effort from the young Colombian. Goal kick.
I say the best thing for them Aston Villa fans today is they've been baked in sunshine. I think a number of them will have needed to bring sun cream. I wouldn't say they've enjoyed themselves, but there is worse weather conditions to watch a game of football in.
And if they didn't bring any sun cream, their faces will be like as red as the shirts of Liverpool. As Jota tries to get in Salah, he's playing on the shoulder of Digne. As Villa with Camara, he hits a diagonal ball towards Duran. Duran takes it on into the penalty area, and again he shoots early. There was nobody up with him. He scored within 60 seconds against Everton at Villa Park the other week. He's had a couple of efforts there that were off target. It'll be a goal kick, but there's been another goal at Selhurst Park. Sohail Sahi.
Yeah, it's gone to the home side, Ian. Crystal Palace 2, Wolves 1. They cleared the ball away from a free kick, the Wolves defence. It was flighted back into the penalty area, and their man, Eberechi Eze, he's been called up once again for the England squad. He poked it home from 8 yards away. Crystal Palace 2, Wolves 1.
And those games will be live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Ukraine, it'll be played in Poland, and then the friendly against Scotland at Hampden. Both games live on BBC Radio 5 Live. So lots of live sport to look forward to, whether it be the US Open tennis, the Rugby Union World Cup that starts on Friday, and then the internationals as well, as the Premier League will be taking a break after match day 4. The squads of 25 players will have to be submitted after the transfer window closed on Friday. And certainly business as usual is the message from Anfield regarding Mo Salah, despite that interest from Saudi Arabia. And with 12 minutes remaining, Liverpool leading 3-0. Klopp now, probably the first time he's been animated through the whole game, just getting a little bit agitated, I think, with Matip, making sure that maintains his levels of concentration in the closing stages of this game. 12 minutes remaining, 3-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, well, they had to make that change with Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving the field. Kwanzaa came on, but he's gone centre-half. Gomez went into the right-back position, just in between Gomez and Matip. That's where Giroud's had that little bit of room to make those 2 runs inside the Liverpool penalty area in the last 5 or 10 minutes. He's had dreadful efforts at the end of it, completely swiping with the left foot, missing the target by an awful long way on both occasions. But when you haven't had a clean sheet yet this season, you don't want to give up opportunities, and I think that's what Jurgen Klopp is saying. Make sure, yes, you've altered your positions out there, but let's not lose our concentration. Let's come away from here with this clean sheet.
Villa's winning run coming to an end in a shuddering fashion. They had won their last 4 matches in all competitions with an aggregate score of 15-1. Of course, it was a convincing win against Hibs over the two legs, 8-0 on aggregate in that playoff game. They're then rewarded with a group with AZ Alkmaar, Legia Warsaw, and Zrinjski Mostar of Bosnia for the Villa supporters back in European competition for the first time since 2010-11, as there is a result in the F1. Harry Benjamin.
Yeah, well, it is Max Verstappen who crosses the line in the Italian Grand Prix to take his 10th consecutive Formula 1 win. He breaks all the records. Perez makes it a 1-2 for Red Bull, and a fantastic battle between the 2 Ferraris, ultimately going Carlos Sainz's way to steal the final podium spot on home soil for Ferrari.
Checkered Flag podcast, of course, for all the reaction from the team out there with the Italian Grand Prix, as here we are at Anfield with 10 minutes remaining of normal time. Liverpool leading 3-0, and ever since that Szoboszlai goal as early as the 3rd minute, they've not really looked back, have they?
No, complete control of this game from start to finish for Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp's tactics have been excellent. His team have performed to a really high standard. I'm surprised that they've only got 3 goals on the score sheet. Just as we come into the latter stages of the game, the changes freshen things up initially, but Liverpool may have just lost their way in the last 5 minutes or so. But he'll still be pleased, Jurgen Klopp. The main thing now I'll be looking for is to keep hold of this clean sheet. Seasons are successful or not by how many clean sheets you get so often. I want to make sure this is his first of the season.
Yeah, he kept 14 clean sheets last season, did Alisson, but as Leon Osman quite rightly says, it'll be the first of this year's campaign as Camara. Villa supporters find their voices despite seeing their side trailed by 3-0. Out to Digne, playing from right to left. 9 minutes remaining of normal time. Here is Camara forward to Tielemans under pressure from Szoboszlai. The 2 number 8s coming together. Up to his feet though, Tielemans towards Abu Diaby, runs into trouble as Matip steps out of defence, and then the ball goes back towards Alisson, who was terrific against Newcastle United. And you think about the context of this game, probably only been tested the once, wasn't he, with that cash header? Can't recall too many other times.
Yeah, and the quality of goalkeeper that he is, I still think it's a save I'd expect him to make. That's what all good goalkeepers do. They might not be in the game an awful lot, but then when they're called upon, they show exactly what they can do, and that's what Alisson is good at. His distribution is good, his concentration levels are excellent.
Here is Szoboszlai. Very, very gentle pace in the game now, and that gives you an indication of how comfortable it is really for Liverpool. Again, there's no pressure on that back line from Aston Villa, despite Unai Emery with his jet black hair, slick back as it always is, patrolling that technical area. marching to the left, back to the right, standing still momentarily as Quansah comes forward out of defence, out towards Jota. Elliott makes a run towards him, and then as the ball is played into the inside left channel of the penalty area, Elliott didn't make the run but Gakpo did, and they thought they'd actually got a corner kick, but referee Simon Hooper has said it's a goal kick instead, as Quansah had to deal with it. So it'll be a goal kick to Aston Villa.
Yeah, it's a misunderstanding on the attack from Liverpool, but should have been a corner kick. Just really poor play from Quansah, and the referee let him out of jail.
We've had 3 goals here at Anfield. They had 3 goals at Selhurst Park, but they've just seen another. But who to? Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, we've had a 4th now, but a 3rd to Crystal Palace. In Crystal Palace 3, Wolves 1. The best of the lot. Nice combination play between Edouard and Mateta on the edge of Wolves' penalty area. A nice 1-2. Fell back to Edouard, and he just tucked it past Jose Sarr for his 3rd Premier League goal of the season. Crystal Palace in command, all 3 points. They lead Wolves by 3 goals to 1.
So Palace are in command and Liverpool are in control at Anfield with under 7 minutes remaining. Cash back to Quansah. Gakpo will run towards him. Martinez, all in green, to Pau Torres, almost caught in possession by Salah, just had a little nibble of it. Releases it towards Camara. Camara passes it now to Digne on this near side. Plays it inside. Challenge comes in from McAllister. Loose ball picked up now by Digne driving forward. Looks for Duran through the middle. He releases Diaby. Diaby with the cross. And nobody made the run into the penalty area. What was it, 4 or 5 yards out in front of goal from that left side?
Yeah, good move from Aston Villa. No surprise to see Diaby, the man at the heart of it, and he can't do any more. He gets inside that penalty area, faces up his defender, flashes it across, let's say the 6-yard line, but it's probably about 4 yards out from goal. But both McGinn and Duran had come for the cutback. Duran could only make the cutback, having been involved in the build. McGinn had to go to the back post for any kind of tap, and he didn't. And that was probably as good as a chance as Villa have had.
Ball over the top. Salah again was after it, just too far ahead of him. Jurgen Klopp's 300th Premier League game today is going to end with a very comfortable win. Good record that he's got against Aston Villa as well. This will be a 9th success from 12 meetings against Aston Villa, the only defeat being that shock 7-2 defeat at Villa Park, as the Liverpool supporters create the noise inside Anfield with 5 minutes remaining of normal time. Turning it back to a fortress once more, aren't they?
They are. That's where Liverpool have always had their success, by making this a very, very difficult place to come. And they did so for the majority of last season as well. I think Liverpool lost 9 games last season, but only one of them was at Anfield, and it was a surprise one to Leeds United. They've started in the same vein this season. They want to make their home form outstanding. Only had 1 defeat in the last 43 in the Premier League, so it's a fantastic record.
Yep. They've won 32 and drawn 10 during that run, as Wataru Endo, the Japanese international, is going to be coming on for his 3rd appearance since joining from Stuttgart for £19 million, getting his final instructions from Jurgen Klopp. Just wonder if maybe now he would take off Mo Salah now, so Mo Salah can feel the love from inside Anfield.
Maybe. I think Mo Salah will still be upset about that, considering there are minutes left. He could score another goal, and I'm surprised that it's took this long to bring Endo on. The game's been so comfortable. Liverpool in such control of this game. Maybe I thought he'd come on 20 minutes earlier, just to allow him that opportunity to get in the middle of the park and spread passes. It was a baptism of fire away against Newcastle last week. Thought he might get more minutes this week.
McAllister is the player who makes way, and Wataru Endo will be coming on for another change in the closing stages of this game here on BBC Radio 5 Live. It's just gone 4:15. Crystal Palace 3, Wolves 1 is the latest score at Selhurst Park. Motherwell are leading at Hearts. Celtic earlier won away at Rangers in the Old Firm by 1-0. We've got commentary coming up in about 45 minutes time. Arsenal, Manchester United for the 3rd commentary of the day on BBC Radio 5 Live. If you want cricket, that's on Sports Extra. That'll be followed by the tennis at 6. And because indeed of the Rugby Union World Cup, I'd imagine tonight 6:06 might be the last for a long time because of the live rugby. Certainly next Saturday we'll have England-Argentina from Marseille live from 7. Here is Salah to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai with the cross, strikes the body of Digne, and it goes out of play, off the corner flag for a corner kick to Liverpool, who've never let up throughout the whole game, have they?
Well, they haven't. The pressure is what you always look at a team. When the game is obviously won and it's getting into the latter stages, is your team still closing down? Is your team still on the front foot? Are they showing the desire you want throughout your team? And that certainly is the case for Jurgen Klopp's men. The crowd certainly enjoying that. Luca Digne tried to clear the ball, it hit the corner flag, and he had a swing and a miss in front of the Kop there.
Szoboszlai with a corner, near side the right-footed, off the head of Gomez. Kept alive far side by Jota. Plays it back. Endo with the cross. Matip makes the run. Saved by the legs of Martinez. Flags up. It'll be a free kick to Aston Villa. 2 minutes remaining.
That's the gamble Aston Villa take. They play a high line, whether they're defending a ball that's on the halfway line or a delivery in from wide areas. They try and stay as advanced as possible. When it works, it looks great. You catch people offside, as Matip was there. But when it doesn't work, you're giving the opposition such easy opportunities like we've seen Liverpool create today.
Well, very soon we'll be finding out how much additional time there will be. And in fact, I'm expecting 4 minutes of additional time in the for the board to go up in the next 60 seconds or so from the fourth official, Tony Harrington. On average, in these early stages, I know there was a lot of complaints about we thought we might be getting to World Cup levels with the additional time, but it's on average it's increased by only about 3 minutes in these opening 3 or 4 games, as Cash running forward far side the right, plays it back, Camera right on the centre circle on the halfway line. That Villa away end is now probably only about half full. There are a lot of empty red seats in that part of the Anfield Road end, as Liverpool deserved victory here today. Half time at Tynecastle. Kenny Crawford.
Hearts 0, Motherwell 1, a well-deserved lead for the Steelmen at the break. Callum Slattery, his third goal of the season on 29 minutes, a lovely slotted finish, low past Zander Clark after it was initially disallowed for offside, but then VAR gave it. Hearts 0, Motherwell 1, half time.
Thanks, Kenny. If we're unable to bring you any live reaction from Anfield before our next commentary of Arsenal-Manchester United at 4:30, it'll be available at half-time in that game, or you can listen to it on the 5 Live Football Daily Pod. Here is Zaniolo, the substitute for Aston Villa. They're 3-0 down. Zaniolo, the Italian, inside to Duran, scoops the ball forward, headed away by Matip. Clearance by Gomez, now playing as right back, strikes Duran, and the two of them just get a little bit of a tussle. Gomez reacts a little bit angrily, and they go eyeball to eyeball, head to head, and then Simon Hooper gets in the middle and just says, settle it down. And it'll be a free kick to Liverpool, and we are now into that stoppage time of the 4 minutes that are added on.
Yeah, temper's surprisingly high there, considering it's absolutely nothing in this game at the moment, but it just shows that players still have the pride. But it's been a good day for Liverpool, exactly what Jurgen Klopp would have wanted to. See his team look threatening, score goals, be in control of the game. From Aston Villa, it's a game that probably wasn't expected to really get anything out of. They've had 3 away games so far at the start of this season. Aston Villa only 1 at home. Looks like they're going to have a 2 wins, 2 loss ratio. I think he'll be quite pleased with 6 points at this stage and through in the Europa Conference League. I think he'll be brushing yourself down and moving on after this from Aston Villa.
Yeah, but for Liverpool, they'll remain unbeaten. They'll be joining Tottenham and West Ham on 10 points, just 2 points behind the leaders, Manchester City, as Jota cuts inside towards Gakpo. Konsa turns his body, gets in front there of Gakpo, turns and plays it back to Martinez, who can clear the Aston Villa goalkeeper. Robertson heads the ball forward. The only potential blot on Liverpool for otherwise what has been a perfect afternoon. They'll just hope that nothing serious regarding Trent Alexander-Arnold, the fact that he had to leave the field of play.
Yeah, and the manner in which he left the field as well. He just seemed to decide he needed to sit down, didn't really move any further than that, laboured off the field in a very slow walk and straight down the tunnel. So you're right, that is a concern. Good thing is, from a Liverpool point of view, is international break.
Elliott with the cross, Gakpo's outstretched right boot caught by Martinez.
Yeah, that international break, you'll probably see him drop out of the England squad, and it just gives him a little bit more time to get over any injury he may have.
Yeah, we'll find out over the course of the next 24 hours, I'm sure, before the England players meet up at St George's Park for those games against Ukraine and Scotland that we'll be bringing you live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Here is Endo for Liverpool. Elliott out towards Robertson. Still now the levels haven't dropped from Liverpool, leading by 3-0. Jota, Robertson going on ahead of him into the penalty area. Jota waits, delays the pass to Elliott, back then to Endo. And now with Elliott trotting forward was Jota, and is surely in an offside position. Yes, he is. There is the flag on this near side. And so by my watch, we're about to enter the last 60 seconds. So what would your closing thoughts be of this Liverpool 3-0 performance, Leon Osman?
Oh, comfortable. I think that they started really well. All the damage was done in the first 15 minutes. That they really showed their difference in quality in and out of possession in this game against Aston Villa, and that's what they could do here at Anfield. They can take the game away from you very, very quickly. Aston Villa were well below the standards I was expecting from them, and they were punished accordingly.
Here is Salah to Jota inside the penalty area, just moves outside the box. A challenge comes in, Camara gets it away to Zaniolo, plays it inside to Diaby, who stumbles, but behind him was McGinn, who keeps it going for Villa, and Zaniolo's continued that run, left corner of the penalty area now, enters the box, looks for the cross. Durana didn't make the run. And there was the young substitute, Gerald Quansah, to clear for Liverpool. Out of play, it goes for a throw. So with seconds remaining here at Anfield, and Liverpool are going to now go 15 unbeaten in the Premier League. They'll be 14 unbeaten at Anfield. It'll be one defeat in their last 44 in the Premier League at home. And Jurgen Klopp, who talked about 3 points, making it a very good start, is exactly that, and in a comfortable fashion as well. And they never look back after the Szoboszlai sweet strike after 3 minutes. The Cash own goal added to it midway through the second half. Núñez with a chip hit the crossbar. Salah eventually did add a third goal. Villa had a couple of opportunities, but this has been a comprehensive Liverpool performance, Leon Osman.
Yeah, exactly how they'd want to go into the international break. Jurgen Klopp sent his team out on the front foot to create opportunities, knowing Aston Villa had a high line. Trent Alexander-Arnold was at the heart of every passing move that Liverpool mustered. Brilliant running from the front three at times, from the midfield, from deep in behind Aston Villa at times, but always picked out from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they deservedly took a 2-0 lead. May have been more at half-time. Didn't see enough from Aston Villa. I thought they laboured through the game at times, and I think they'll put this down as a blot after what has been an okay start to the season. But this was all about Liverpool today. Could they continue this positive feeling around the club, the momentum that they've got, the run that they've got here at Anfield? And they did all that and more.
Well, it certainly is a positive start to the season for Liverpool. They keep their first clean sheet of the season as well. As for Aston Villa, Steve, I just noticed a little bit of a disagreement between Watkins and Bailey, who'd been substituted, and they've both gone off down the tunnel. Looked like Watkins was a little bit perplexed at whatever Leon Bailey was saying to him, but Villa were never really in this, and this was a very good win for Liverpool. It's finished at Anfield. Liverpool 3, Aston Villa 0.
We've had a late goal and the full-time whistle at Selhurst. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, late goal went to Wolves, but too late here, Steve. It's ended Crystal Palace 3, Wolves 2. So Crystal Palace with the points. They took the lead in the second half. Mitchell, he whipped in a cross from the left. Edouard, sharper and quicker than the Wolves defence. He made it 1-0. Then Hwang came off the bench for Wolves to equalise, direct from a free kick. Crystal Palace, they responded first through their inspiration, Eberechi Eze, and then the best goal of the day, a cute 1-2 involving Mateta and Edouard, who wrapped up the win. The late goal from Cunha didn't spoil matters. It's been a good day for Crystal Palace. They've beaten Wolves, Steve, by 3-2.
It's been a great day for Liverpool as Jurgen Klopp waves and blows kisses to the Liverpool fans inside Anfield. Leon Osman, the word you kept using in commentary was control. And I'm not sure Liverpool had that for large parts of last season, but this was routine, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's what they'll want for the majority of the games here at Anfield. They want it to feel like it's routine, that the opposition are turning up just to get beat and just to get out of here as quickly as possible. And that's the way Aston Villa seemed today. It looked like they were just trying to keep the score down right from the start, and that was down to themselves, starting sloppy, but it was definitely down to the impressive start that Liverpool made, especially Trent Alexander-Arnold, as Deno said during the commentary, slightly concerning when he had to leave the field. Their attacking potency dropped a little bit, such was his performance today, but apart from that, it was an impressive afternoon for Liverpool.
Klopp's having the time of his life, Ian.
Yeah, he's whipping up the crowd in front of the Kop. Very, very happy. And Harvey Elliott, and if you're on Salah watch as well, Salah just went down the tunnel. Message is quite clear here at Anfield. Business as usual, move on.
What about Villa? I think, Leon, if I was an Aston Villa fan, with all the talk in the summer about how, they can compete at a much higher level and all this, well, they were hammered at Newcastle, and they were nowhere near this one either. They're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, I think if you'd have said to Unai Emery at the start of the season, you'll have 3 away games out of the 4, a trip to Newcastle, a trip to Anfield, and a trip to Burnley, you'll come away with 2 wins, you'll get progression in the Europa Conference League going into first international break. You'd have probably said, okay, I can take that, but they didn't compete at all today. That's the disappointing thing. I expected to see the progression they may have made, to see how far they've come. Could they give Liverpool as good as they got today? Apart from flashes from Diaby, who did show an awful lot of quality, I thought that Aston Villa as a whole just looked like they were ready to be beat today, and certainly didn't show what we've all been led to believe is the progression they're on.
Leon, Ian, thank you very much indeed. Routine for Liverpool, 3-0 winners over Aston Villa. It's also finished Crystal Palace 3, Wolves 2. We'll bring you live reaction from Anfield as and when we can. Might end up being at half-time at the Emirates. Arsenal versus Manchester United on the way in just over half an hour's time. We're going to go live to Anfield. The Aston Villa manager Unai Emery is with Juliet Farrington.
Unai, what went wrong for Aston Villa today?
Good afternoon. We were excited about how we can face them before the match. Really, the first half was the key because we played taking chances, creating good chances to score, but we weren't clinical, and we conceded more than we were doing, and defensively sometimes a little bit weak than we want. And they were clinical as well, scoring 2 goals. What the difference? But I was more or less trying to be consistent like the first half, playing and trying to get their balls, trying to be more clinical than the first half. And we created chances again, 2 very good chances at the beginning of the second half. We didn't score, and when they scored the third goal was more difficult, and was really when the match finished for us. But we tried to keep being consistent, keep being competitive the last minute, even losing the match. And I think we have to close today match and try to continue working in our idea, in our style, in our power, how we can face the next matches and how we can improve, and not more.
Why do you think those chances didn't happen for you? Because Aston Villa, you usually score goals, don't you? We didn't see that at all.
Yes, we are scoring goals, but of course it's more difficult against Newcastle away. It's more difficult against Liverpool away. Maybe against Everton, against Burnley, we had very good performance, and they weren't in the same level. Now we can face Newcastle and Liverpool. More or less is some argues is coming from that, and then we have to be as well continuing. We have to be collectively strong in our idea after we lost 2 matches against Newcastle and Liverpool, because now they are better than us, and that's the reality. But still being time to try to continue improving and to be close of them.
Thank you, Unai, for your time. Steve?
Thank you, Juliet. Juliet Farrington live on 5 Live with the Aston Villa manager Unai Emery after their 3-0 defeat at Liverpool. Earlier, Liverpool beat Aston Villa 3-0 at Anfield, the 300th Premier League match in charge for Jurgen Klopp, and it couldn't have gone much better.
The game no. That was a perfect 3-0. It would have been cool if Trent would not have felt his hamstring, but besides that, it was a perfect afternoon. It was really a good game, the best for a long time. Really pleased. Big steps from the last games, but using the good things from the last games as well. We were ready to suffer today in difficult circumstances. It was obviously like Caribbean weather. Wow, it was roasting, and the boys put a proper shift in. I'm really happy.
Trent, you were talking about obviously there's that injury concern, but just before we get onto that, his ball distribution, his diagonal crosses, the captaincy, he just seemed to thrive in every single moment.
You shouldn't sound that surprised, to be honest. He's a world-class player. So is he that every Sunday? Maybe not yet, but the potential is always there. And today he put a proper performance out there. Yeah, he was for sure got a boost by the armband. I'm pretty sure he did. And in the end, we could give it the armband to the Scotsman as well. So that's cool. But everybody was fully in. It was a super hard-fought game, which now I realized when all your colleagues were asking me, it was like, it looked simple. I didn't feel that for a second, because if you don't make this run, then Aston Villa is through, and Aston Villa is really strong, and that's why I'm really happy about the work rate we put in today.
It did look routine, it did look like there was control. With Trent and the injury, does that rule him out of England, or could he still take part?
I don't know. We have to. They must definitely follow us, Ken. So, and then we will know more. So, but I would say if you feel your hamstring, then the next week it's not possible. So, then there are the England games, obviously. Sorry for him and sorry for Gareth, but let's hope that it's not serious.
And I guess with Mo on the score sheet, with all the noise this week and the speculation over his future, he was always going to score. But 148 games at Anfield. That's his 102nd that he's put in the back of the net today.
That's absolutely crazy. The numbers are crazy. Mo is a world-class player, is an all-time Liverpool legend, and is committed to this team. Nothing else to say.
Jurgen Klopp there with Juliet Farrington.